The American people would be shocked, I think, to know that our intelligence agency was working with a pedophile who was running a sex trafficking ring.
I don't care what the UN says. The UN doesn't know what they're talking about.
I made a good career trading against Goldman Sachs.
And I don't think there's many children out there that need 76 jabs by the time they're old enough to vote.
There were at least 3 different auto pen signatures in use throughout President Biden's tenure in the White House.
Good morning. It is 8:07. Welcome to another week. It's Monday. The fair is over. And I had a moment over the weekend. I went to the fair twice this last week. And over the weekend, I think it was probably Sunday afternoon, and I had one of those little internal mew, 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 mew moments where I thought the fair, I have to wait another whole year for the fair and the food and all the things. And anyway, good fair this year. The weather was, some days was really hot, but we didn't have that one nasty day with rain and stuff. So anyway, I hope you're all recovered from the fair and from the food and all of that. But we also have really interesting stories. Usually we do not pair voter fraud and Fremont County together. Like, this may be a first where we have a voter fraud case out of Fremont County. Local News 8 is doing the digging on this. They said they've learned that 7 individuals were arrested on August 28th for felony charges of voter fraud and perjury related to the May 2023 election. Those arrests were made following an investigation into voter irregularities in the Island Park area, while 7 people of the 405 voters who cast a ballot in the Fremont County Precinct 1 election in May 2023 were arrested. They all have one outstanding factor in common. According to court documents, none of them actually live in Island Park. Then it names them. According to arrest and property records, their primary addresses are in cities like Rigby, Ashton, Idaho Falls, Harriman, Utah. Despite the subject matter, the arrests received little attention outside of Fremont County. And so Local News 8 began its investigation into those arrests after receiving viewer emails about potential voter fraud. Then they reached out to the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, the prosecutor's office, the elections office, and they were told they'd receive a call back. And as of yesterday, they did not have a response. Maybe they have a response this morning. But so you have these court documents, including the criminal complaint and probable cause statement for each case. And it was a very contentious local election, the proposed Island Park Auditorium District. So it was a couple of years ago, May of 2023, members of the Island Park community petitioned the county to form the district and collected the necessary signatures to put the issue on the ballot. The measure needed a simple majority to pass. It failed by 9 votes, 198 to 207. So a very close election, and if they can identify 7 fraudulent votes, and they say there are more, obviously this is a problem. But here's a legal question for, well, people with more qualifications than I have. What if they do this investigation and they find out that if you subtract the fraudulent votes from the tally, it flips the election? Can a judge come along and say this election's, and I don't know if that's the case here. I want to make sure I let you know that. But is an election overturnable based on voter fraud? I think the first common sense pass here is that it should. That they should throw out the results if they subtract the fraudulent votes and the outcome is different. But I don't know if that's what will happen because elections get certified, whatever the case may be. There's one other point. I don't want to spend all day on this, but I do want to bring up a point here. Don't we have, it's usually Democrats, but sometimes Republicans too, that say this doesn't happen and it can't happen. That voter fraud is the system is too secure that this kind of thing can't happen. Well, why are we 2 years later realizing, oh, it does happen? Because if there's no voter fraud, you catch this crap on Election Day or prior to Election Day if it's early voting. So why is it, and you might say, well, it's 7 votes. Yeah, you're right. But in small areas where an issue hinges on 9 votes, that matters. It matters a lot. And so I don't know. I don't know. I look at this and I'm thinking, I don't have overwhelming confidence that they're right when they say this can't happen. Our elections are very secure. There's no way to cheat the system. Clearly, there is. I'm glad they found it in this case. And we'll see what turns out here, and maybe what we learn. It sounds like maybe there are going to be more than just the 7 that they've found. So we have that. We also have an interesting development. I'm sure if you've been on social media for more than 8 seconds over the weekend, you saw the Philly Karen. Philadelphia Marlins were playing. Home run gets hit, and the ball lands in a section. Dad runs over. There's probably more empty seats than there were full seats. Runs over, and the ball's still kind of bouncing around. It's not definitively in any one person's hands. Dad grabs the ball and then runs back over to his son and puts it in his son's mitt. Like, it's a great moment if we just stopped right there. Like, Dad got the ball. Son has this ball that he'll keep and put on his bookcase and remember forever that time he went to see the Phillies and Marlins play back in 2025. But nope. The story does not end there. If it did, you wouldn't even hear about it. A woman marches over because the ball landed closer to her than it did to Dad. It's not clear. She says she had her hands on it, but other witnesses said it may have touched her fingertips, but she didn't have the ball in her grasp, and she felt entitled, and you could just tell, by the way she was walking what was about to happen. Because there's just a walk. And I really wish for the sake of all the women out there named Karen that we had a different word that accurately described this. But the only word that really fits here is Karen. And this lady, we don't actually know her real name, her birth certificate name. But Karen marches over there, and she literally puts a hand on the dad's shoulder and starts into it, saying, "This is mine." Dad's like throwing his hands up. "What are you doing?" And finally, in a moment, and this is sort of that hinge point, to the point that I think maybe it warrants a flash poll on the program today. But it reaches a point where Dad's got a decision to make. And there's a lot of things happening in this moment. And all of us probably have, in retrospect, what would I have done? Especially if you're a dad, you have an opportunity to teach your kid either to stand up for themselves or to de-escalate conflict. And as this is the moment when I watched this video and I thought about this, and I'm like, this right here is why I feel like I don't know how to be a good parent. And I mean, 5 kids, 4 of them are out of the house. 4 of them are adults. I have more grandkids now than I had kids. And I still don't know how to be a parent because I'm not quite sure what the dad should have done in that situation. And maybe Julie and I talked about this on air and off air as well, where maybe Dad should have eventually given the ball back to the lady, but stood up for himself a little bit more and just said, back away. We're going to deal with this like grown-ups here. You don't walk over here, throw a tantrum, make a demand, and then we just capitulate. We'll talk about this and we can come to a good resolution here. That's not what happened. Dad finally throws up his hands to give the ball back to the Karen. And she takes the ball and she marches right back to her seat. And I'm sure that she got into her Subaru Forester and put it in her jockey box and went and got some latte thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they drink these days. Probably some kale flavored something. Anyway, This got so much attention, and then you had all the memes, and the internet's great. There are elements of the internet that are absolutely great, and I loved seeing all the memes. Clearly, AI generated stuff that looks pretty realistic, but you can tell it's AI based on the context, and they still have yet to positively identify who this woman is. I'm going to make a prediction. We will know who she is by week's end, probably by tomorrow. There were a couple of names that got tossed out, but then you had their employer saying, no, that's not ours. She's not ours. That's not who. No, maybe there's a visual resemblance, but that's not her. So I don't know exactly what the truth is here. However, I think the discussion moment here is, if you're the dad, what would you have done in that moment? Knowing there's a teaching moment that could go two different, very different lessons and in very different ways. And I still, looking at this, I'm unsure what the right lesson is for that dad to have taught his kid. And people have really, really strong opinions immediately, early on, and that's not me. So as someone, and I have heard this, it would have been funny if the dad just threw the ball back, or maybe threw it into another section. Then no, it's like splitting the baby. It's like, Samson wisdom there. But I don't know what it is. But again, I do want to make this final point before we break. Can all of us adults, who at least pretend to be grown up, come to a conclusion that if you're at a baseball game and you're an adult and you catch a ball, if there is any kid nearby, especially one who's there with a baseball mitt, hoping to catch the ball, that as the grown-up, you hand the ball to the kid and say, here, put this on your bookcase. That should be the general rule that is expected of every single adult. And there will be some of you that will disagree with me. You might think, no, that ball's mine. I caught it. I came there and I got the ball. When you stop and you think through that ball is going to mean 1,000 times more to the kid who goes home with it than it will ever mean to you. It might be a little warm memory for you if you take it home. Then, and look, I'm even talking about, and this is where I'll probably get some disagreement. There may be a difference between an early season, even a preseason game, and it's a foul ball in a forgettable moment, and a home run that changes the outcome of a World Series in Game 7. Like, the value of those balls may be different. I think the rule applies in both cases. I know you might disagree with me because you're like, well, if you catch that ball that is the World Series winning home run, that ball is then worth $1 million. Well, okay, you can make that case, I guess, too. But I feel like it's about the kids, and let's make it about the kids. There was the good, in case you did not see the ending of this story, it turned out to be so much better for the kid because you had some of the Marlins staff. They came, they gave him a gift bag, and it was very well recorded on video and shared widely. And the young man even got to meet with the player who hit the home run, and they gave him an autographed bat. Like, it turned out way better for the kid. In fact, that Karen was the best thing that ever happened to that kid, if you want to look at it like that. So the right thing ended up happening, but why in the world do we have these Karens? And there are men Karens too. I think, man, are they called Chads? I don't know. The guys' names keep changing. It's pretty consistently Karen for the women, which maybe that's unfair. But we're living in a weird world right now where lots of adults largely don't give a crap about the kids anymore. And that to me is very sad. All right, we're going to break 8:22 on News Talk 1079. It's early on a Monday, and Julie and I have already been accused of being anti-vax because of our previous discussion. We may touch on that ahead here. It's good to have you along. 208-542-1079. And sorry, I just read one of the texted comments that I can't repeat. We'll be back after this. All right, it's 8:28 on News Talk 1079 Monday. Things are rolling. And Julie, it's kind of mixed in our text line about the Karen, the Phillies Karen. So I saw a headline. It turned out to be, I don't know if it was fake, but it was unverified, that this woman lost her job. If you were her employer, would you fire her? I don't think I would have.
I don't think it's a fireable offense. She didn't.
Yeah, she didn't. It wasn't criminality. It was a terrible look, but I don't think I would have fired her solely for that.
Look, I felt like the Coldplay people went too far.
Oh,
remember the couple,
yeah.
The cheating couple on the Coldplay cam?
Yeah.
Sure, they got their internet retribution. I'm not sure they should have lost their jobs over that unless there was something that happened at the workplace.
Well, I think there is a company policy against having relationships.
I would need to be known that that was identified, and did they partake in that at work? Like maybe they had some info on them that we didn't know about.
Some policies prohibit dating outside of work among employees.
If it's in their contract, then sure.
Yeah.
But if it's not, I don't know. I don't know if you can go that far.
If that wasn't a policy, then I'd agree. I'd agree with that. But I think I do remember reading something that company had the policy. There's no dating, no romantic relationships among these top managers.
And if that's okay, that's fine. Yeah. If people are breaking the law and they get caught on camera, it's kind of like the FAFO concept.
Right. Yeah.
This woman, she didn't break the law. She's just a yucky person.
Right. Yeah, it's true. Like she's just not the greatest person. I would fire her for her hairdo. But maybe not.
Okay.
Because she likes to take baseballs away from kids, like. Can I say stuff like that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Just a joke. I wouldn't fire for her.
I can't believe she would be that hard to find, though.
I know. That's what's puzzling.
She's got a full Phillies outfit on.
I know.
You got to guess she's local of some sort. Somewhere in Philadelphia or near Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she hasn't been found yet.
Was this game in Florida or was it in Philadelphia? Because it was the Marlins staff that gave the kid the gift bag.
Oh, I don't know. Those are blue seats. So are the Marlins blue?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, it's Brad from Now 105.1 and QP99. I'm in the studio here. I love our studios, by the way. Ranger Rick back there. There's Neal and Julie doing their thing. Hey, when you want to advertise on the radio, what do? You call the radio station, right? But what do you do when you want to advertise on Facebook and Instagram and Hulu and Disney Plus and Peacock and the other TV streaming services? You can kind of click around on them and make guesses or read books or take courses online on how to do that advertising. Or you could call us at the radio station. At Sandhill Media, we take care of your local radio and digital marketing. So reach out to us at sandhillmediagroup.com and we'll make sure that your message gets heard and seen wherever your customers are.
I think so. Or at least there is blue. So I think it may have been in Florida.
Okay. I guess I just automatically jumped to Phillies because they're all in Phillies gear.
Yeah,
all of them are in Phillies.
The dad and the kid.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the section they sold for the Phillies fans.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, well, that's easy to find out. We'll figure that out. But
I don't know. All of it's bad.
Yeah.
Can we just be better people?
I would hope so.
And my question is, what are you going to do with the ball? I asked that on Friday.
That ball is cursed now, yeah.
Yeah, some people said they would sell it. I'm not sure you're going to be able to sell a home run ball for that much. So I'm not sure money was the driving force here.
Yeah.
I think she was just a woman who, I deserve everything.
Yeah.
And clearly that's what her voice sounds like in my head.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is not far
Give me the ball. You ran into my area. That's my ball.
Not $1 more. No, but like, sorry, that went too far. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't. Who wants to buy that ball now? Even if it wouldn't go that ball has bad energy to it.
Yeah.
Now. Like she's made that ball very toxic.
Mm-hmm. The stuff the kid got is way better to have in your bedroom as a however old she is.
Unless you buy the ball, you don't give her much for it. Like buy it at a low. Don't sell it for $10,000. Mm-hmm. If you can buy it for $20, then give it back to the kid.
I don't even know how you'd verify that was the ball that got hit.
That's a good point too. That's a good point.
It's not signed.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you a question. Let's recreate the moment here. It's Game 7 of the World Series, and you catch a grand slam home run that wins the World Series. That ball is instantly worth a ton of money. Mm-hmm. Yet you're the adult that makes the catch. You don't have kids there. Do you toss that ball to the nearest kid? Or do you like, this is an asset now that's worth, I don't know how much that'd be worth, probably tens of thousands of dollars at the very least, maybe more. Do you just, in the interest of making a kid's day, do you give that ball to the kid? How about this? Here's what I would do. I would say, you can have the ball, but we split the money that you sell. But they wouldn't have the ball forever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that doesn't work either, because the kid doesn't want money. He wants
the ball.
Yeah.
Here's the deal is that I think there's a lot of unwritten rules in baseball.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of unwritten rules on the field.
Yeah.
And the way that you behave in the dugout and touching of like equipment. There is so many unwritten rules in baseball. And I think that extends into the fandom. There's unwritten rules in the fandom. In a case like that, where the stands are obviously going to be packed, there's not going to be an empty seat.
Yeah.
And if you have the glove and you clearly catch it, I don't think anyone's expecting you to give it away.
That's probably true.
But if it's a random home run ball like this at a game that isn't pivotal, I think you give the ball away. And it's just one of those common sense unwritten rules.
Just do it. Yeah, that's true.
I also don't know what she's doing with the ball. You're a 50-plus-year-old woman.
Yeah.
You have a room that's decorated like this? What are you doing with the ball?
I know. I want more context too. Like I'm the same way. I don't know.
It's just weird to me because in that context, I just went to a Diamondbacks game. Mm-hmm. Had the ball been hit and I got it, of course I'm giving it to my grandson Asher.
Yeah.
But there were other little kids around us. There was a man that was crazy drunk with his kid just down from us, and he kept dancing. It was hilarious. People were filming him. He had like an 11, 12-year-old kid with him.
Yeah.
I'd give that kid the ball.
Yeah,
if I didn't have Asher with me.
Yeah.
I mean, what a fun game for him. He was with his dad. He got a ball.
Yeah.
But that's one of those unwritten rules because it would have been it's just not a pivotal game.
Right. Yeah. Oh, you're right. I know. Why is this so common sense and easy, Julie? But you have these so the whole thing with the U.S. Open, what did the guy grab? The hat?
It was a hat that no one owned. They were giving out hats, and it was signed. So it wasn't, he didn't steal a hat the kid had brought.
Yeah.
It was swag that was being handed out and signed.
And he grabbed it before the kid could.
Yeah, the person was clearly giving it to the child.
Right, that's right.
And that was the big problem there.
And the guy is Polish, and he was the CEO of... What is it with CEOs and bad behavior at sporting events? Because that was the Coldplay story.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I do think we need to have a national discussion about this. Okay. What do you do with baseballs when they land in the stands at a Major League Baseball game?
We can't ride a public transportation right now without somebody getting stabbed. I don't know if this is our biggest problem that we need to solve.
Well... I'm just saying on an off week, let's have the discussion.
It is kind of an off day for the news cycle, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it is. All right, 9:37. 208-542-1079. We'll break quickly here. If you'd like to reach us on the Stones Automotive Group call and text line, that number's 208-542-1079. And we are back. It's 8:43, News Talk 1079. If you'd like to reach the program, the Stones Automotive Group call and text line, 208-542-1079. Okay, and let's go to the phones. I believe Andy is standing by. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's on your mind today?
Hey, I met both of you guys over at Brolam's the last time you guys were at Brolam's.
Oh.
And I thought you were the Phillies game that the Karen took the ball from Bed Bath & Beyond and from Camper World. He gave that guy and his family tickets to the World Series and a brand new RV.
Andy, I'm actually going to ask you to make your point again. We had a tech hiccup here, and we didn't hear the last about 25 seconds of your comments. So go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say that the man who gave the ball to Karen there had a really good teachable moment for his son and anyone else who was watching. And Marcus Lemonis or whatever, who was the CEO of Bed Bath & Beyond and Camper World, saw that and got a hold of them and gave them free tickets to the World Series and a brand new RV.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness, sir. Is that for real?
Yeah, you can look that up. You can Google it, I guess. But Mark Lemonis was on Fox News here yesterday or the day before and he was explaining how he saw this. And he was so touched by it that he got a hold of the guy and told him that him and his family got free tickets to the World Series and a brand new RV on him because he gave such a perfect teachable moment to not only his son, but other viewers who are watching.
Yeah. That's great. Like I said, Karen is the best thing that ever happened to this kid.
Yeah, and then on top of it, I guess the guy who hit the home run actually, he got to meet that guy, and he gave him a signed bat and another ball. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, very
how
cool.
When you do the right thing, you do the right thing. And again, the guy didn't think about it. He just did it. It was out of instinct, and he didn't know anyone really was watching or paying attention.
Yeah. And
it's like, hey, who are you when no one's watching? Who are you when no one's looking? Paying attention.
Yeah. No, fascinating. That's a great follow-up.
It is. I just double-checked it. Absolutely true. Caller is spot on. The kid's name is Lincoln, and Lemonis offered them tickets to the World Series and a brand new RV.
Yeah.
Super cool. Andy,
it goes to show it pays to do the right thing.
Yeah. Andy, thank you for the call. I appreciate that. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't hear about that earlier this morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You and I both said earlier, if I was in that situation, I would have given the Karen the ball. I would have given the Phillies fan the ball. But I probably would have had some words to say when I did it, just to show my son, we're not backing down. We're choosing the high road.
Yeah. That's a good approach. Not to interrupt, Trump is making remarks on religious liberty right now. Let's listen in.
He's a great guy, and he wants me to call it the super centennial. He said super centennial, and I think we're going to do that. Let's change it. I really like that idea because we call it the 250 centennial, but it's really not. It's really just below the try, right? So we're going to call it super centennial then, okay? Let's do that. Will you please make the changes? All of my people that are all over the room, please make that change. A wonderful person who I've known for a long time, Kelly Shackelford. Kelly? Thank you very much. Great job. Ryan Anderson. Ryan, thank you. Congratulations. Carrie Bowler and Allison Ho. Carrie? Two great people. And we're also joined by the chairman of the Faith and Freedom Coalition, Ralph Reed. There's Ralph. Ralph. You help so much. You know, Ralph, I think, hit more doorbells than anybody else I know. Millions and millions. What was the number, Ralph? 10 million. And it's true. You know, somebody else would say, well, was it really? And it was. People were saying he was all over the place. Thank you very much, Ralph. I appreciate it. We'll never forget it. Thank you. Let me also thank everyone at the Museum of the Bible, including Steve and Jackie Green. The job they've done is just...
Okay, so Trump's doing all the preliminary thank yous.
Lots of thank yous to people who've worked hard.
Do we know what this is about today?
I have no idea. This is the first that I've seen this.
Trump is doing all this stuff all the time, and it's hard to...
It's super interesting because what it does is it makes it so they can't keep up with him.
Yeah.
And our listeners probably are like, oh my gosh, that's another thing from the White House. But there is a specific offense that is being played here, and it's working.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't. In fact, I think he's like 2 steps ahead of it. They're still all wound up over something he did, 2 things he did ago.
Right. It's so true.
And he's just out in front of it, and it's in the rearview mirror while they're still all worked up over it. So I think it's great. They just can't keep up with the guy.
Yeah. Something we haven't talked about today. I sent you a tweet over the weekend about somebody who was responding to J.D. Vance when he said killing of the people, the Venezuelan cartel members that were on that boat, is exactly what he expects the Secretary of Defense and his cabinet, or the Secretary of War, to be doing. And JD took some heat for that. Yeah. Just simply because people are like, he's promoting death and all he wants is military fighting. It did not catch on. Yeah. And that is a good sign for Republicans, because 4 years ago, that would have been 2 weeks of the news cycle.
Oh, yeah. Well, it would have. And which is why I think common sense is returning here. Because there is this take out there that if we blow up these they're narco-terrorists. That's what they're being called. But they are terrorists. They're sending drugs to our country that will kill people, mostly younger people. And this is if you want to look at it this way, it's a self-defense maneuver. That we're keeping these drugs from coming into our country. These are bad people. They're only doing it for money. They don't care that people are dying. They know that people are going to be dying. And so Trump's taking them out. I don't have any heartburn over that at all. I think that Rand Paul had kind of a garbage take on this. And he said over the weekend, he's like, well, I don't think we need to be the world's policeman. Well, we're not going after drugs being transferred from Africa to Italy. I mean, we're not just watching all over the globe to take out drug traffickers. We're taking out boats that we are confident are headed to the United States of America. And I don't think they really are. They're terrorists. Now, they're different than the usual terrorists we know about. But the tweet, I think it was Brian Krasenstein, he tweeted out and he said, without any due process, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is a war crime. And J.D. Vance, the vice president, said, I don't give up what you think, what you call it. Okay, this is terrorism. And this is what I'm talking about with putting our feet on the gas. You get right back up in their face. You don't explain it to them. They wouldn't, even if you gave them a perfectly valid explanation of it, that doesn't placate them. And we're finally realizing that the only language they understand is to get right back in their face and demoralize them. And that sounds so counter to what our grandmothers and mothers taught us. But in this environment, this is the only thing that's going to keep it at bay.
These are people who we would have had a full military combat situation if we had tried to go aboard and stop them and then bring them to a courtroom and then blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Little kids are dying every day by fentanyl overdoses. And why is it on the left we can trust them sometimes and not trust them other times? Meaning, when I say them, I'm meaning when they like what's being done by the military, well, shut up and sit down. We need to listen to them.
Yeah.
But when they don't like what's being done with the military, all of a sudden they're not trustworthy anymore.
Right. Yeah. And they use words like, war crimes and all of that. All right, we'll break. It's 8:53 now on News Talk 107.9. All right, 8:57 on News Talk 107.9. It's Neal Larson along with Julie Mason. A big story that was teased last month, actually, about a big announcement about autism coming in September. And I feel like this has not gotten a ton of attention. I'm not seeing it everywhere this morning, but there's Harvard research that implicates Tylenol being taken during pregnancy for some neurodegenerative disorders like autism and ADHD. So,
yeah, we'll just have to see if that was like the announcements coming and this was leaked information that came out. Who knows?
All right. We'll tell you what we know coming up in the next hour. It's 8:59 on News Talk 107.9. There we go. 9:07 now on News Talk 107.9. Neal Larson, Julie Mason, and you. If you'd like to reach us on the Stones Automotive Group call and text line 208-542-1079. And Julie, we have a troll, and they said, since when is murder justified, Neal? In self-defense, if someone's coming to your home and they're about to do something that is going to cause death in your home, you are justified via self-defense in taking that person out. This is not even complicated for me.
Look, if a boatload of drugs with known Venezuelan Mexican cartels is headed to the American shores, and a grain of salt of fentanyl can kill a child, and that is so easily transferable, but in all aspects.
Yeah.
It's hard to detect. It's hard for people to witness the transfer of the drugs and the fentanyl, and it's hard for the kids to even know what's in there. It's hard to detect all the way across the board, and young people are dying every single day. I'm with J.D. Vance. I do not have a problem they took out this drug boat.
I don't. It didn't give me a minute's worth of heartburn.
I expect my country to defend children that way.
Yeah. Here, okay. Let's talk about it from this vantage point. Here's what I would expect. I don't want the government taking out a boat that they think might be carrying drugs, whatever. I want them to know that there are drug smugglers on board. There's likely drugs on board. They've tied the boat to a cartel or a gang or whatever, whatever source it is. In this case, it was Tren de Aragua. So Venezuela. I want them to have at least a preponderance of knowledge that these are bad guys with bad intentions. And then that, to me, is your threshold. They're headed to the United States of America. It's likely they're smuggling drugs. You take them out. I don't know why that's hard.
Can I float something here? And pardon the pun with the boat. But
right.
Can I float something here?
Yeah.
I bet this has happened before. It just wasn't publicized by an administration.
Probably.
We just have an administration that is proud of the work that our military is doing.
Well, to our troll, who clearly has an interest in preserving the lives of drug smugglers, this policy that Trump is enacting, very publicly, very visibly, very blatantly, blowing up these boats carrying drugs, will save far more would-be drug smugglers and far more lives than if we just did it quietly or didn't do any of it at all.
Yeah.
They're not going to keep coming to the United States. Our intelligence is too good. Our satellite imagery is too good. Our surveillance is too good. And one or two more of these, and I'm glad Trump is saying, disseminate it to the media. Let the world see what we will do to drug smugglers coming to the United States. Do you know how many thousands of lives you're going to save by doing this?
Yeah. It's called prevention.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So, all right. 208. Do you think we've properly addressed?
Well, yeah, sure.
All right. Let's go to the phones. 208-542-1079. Hi, caller. How are you?
Good. Hey, the thing I haven't heard this morning, and I may have got in on this late, but the fact that Venezuela's been hosting Iran, North Korea, all of our enemy states there recently. Fox did a deal on it the other day. So how do we know what's coming in here? Are they smuggling dirty bombs, ammunition, weapons? I mean, who knows? But like you say, this is preemptive. We can't wait till these people get here.
Yeah. No, it is. You're right. You don't wait till they're on your shores. And so that's a good, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, maybe there was more than drugs on that boat.
There could have been. And for national security
maybe that's why
reasons,
it had to be taken out so aggressively.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. We don't know everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate that. Insightful call.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. Can I go back to the original question? Since when is murder justified, Neal? There are all sorts of cases where murder's justified.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all of them are self-defense, but it's justified. Even God.
Yeah.
Even God does that.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything's going to be.
Okay, so.
All right.
Okay, should we listen to Trump for a minute?
Sure.
He is giving a speech on religious freedom.
Our parks right next to our great buildings, Supreme Court, you'd have a tent city right there, and nobody would ever tell him to do it. We had a blue tent right on Lafayette, and they seemed to have a permit. And one of the fake news media was asking me the other day, what about the blue tent? What blue tent? Because all the tents you got, somehow these people were very well connected with the communist cause. And I said, there's a tent up there? Really? Yeah. And he was a friendly reporter for a change. He said, it's terrible that the tent. I said, I didn't know that. I'm surprised. And I checked, and there was. And we got it down very quickly. It's down. It's down. Wasn't easy. People chained themselves to a tree and this and that, but that's okay. They can chain themselves if they want. That was a tough one. That's been there for years. It's been there for many years. We took it down. Came down very quickly, Pam. So I hope Attorney General Bondi will be looking into some of these things, and I really know that some of them she is. She's done such an incredible job. You know, she's got a lot of pressure on her not to do these things by a certain group of people that I guess don't love our country, or there's some ideology that they're just indoctrinated with. But she's going to do a fantastic job, and we're waiting for a call from Chicago. We'll fix Chicago. And again, D.C. is right now so safe you can go out. Friends of mine called, one in particular, he's been in D.C. for a long time. And he said, I haven't gone out in 4 years for dinner with my wife. The restaurants were all closing because people were afraid, even if they were in the restaurant, it didn't matter. They were held up. You know, guys would walk in with guns into a restaurant. And that's over. It's not happening. It's now safe. And this man said, I've gone out to dinner in the last week and a half 4 times. And I am so safe. My wife could meet me at the restaurant. She could walk by herself. There is zero threat. The National Guard working with the police, working with the mayor. The mayor has, you know, that's not her ideology. And now I think it maybe is her ideology. She's taking a lot of heat, too, from the radical left. You know, they don't like that she's allowing it. But look, she's going to either allow it or we'll just do it because, you know, it's just. But she understands that. No, she understands that. But I can tell you the people of D.C. are thrilled. I have never had so many people. The other day I had a big scrum in front of me of the press. And I said, you know, everybody here, or many of you have been mugged, right? And they're all going like, and these aren't people necessarily on our side. They're all going, yes, yes, yes. What about you? Yes, it's true. I was a couple of times. Every one of them. It's crazy. Not going to happen anymore. So right now we went from one of the most, and some people say the worst, the most violent city. Can you imagine our capital being the most violent city? But it was really
all right. President Trump talking about one of the things I think he's really proud of right now is this effort to clean up D.C., get rid of the crime, and in the coming months, they're going to beautify the city as well. It's the capital of our country. Let's make it a shining gem again.
He had an interesting moment over the weekend where some of the mainstream media, some of the legacy media tried to frame this as he was going to war.
Oh, yes.
Against these cities. And he was brutal in clarifying that this isn't war. I didn't say that. That's something you made up. I'm trying to stop murder and violence from happening in our beautiful American streets.
Yeah. Well, and here is that clip where he just.
It's fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why would the Department of Defense?
Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
Okay, he calls her darling, which only Trump can get away with that, right? And then she interrupts him again and says, well, why are you deploying the Department of Defense? And he's like, stop it. Be quiet for a minute. He's like, we're not going to war. We're cleaning up the city. I guess I would ask the question in this vein. If there's a flood somewhere and sandbags need to be put up, or other natural disaster, often the National Guard comes in to give support to help those communities out. It's a great use of resources to come in. It's a non-military action, but these are young people that are large. Some aren't so young. Some are middle-aged, but they are getting paid. They're muscle. They can be put to work, and they're being put to work to help bring stability to the communities. The work they do is very important. This isn't really that much different. They're not going to be carrying around guns and shooting people. They're not waging a war. And I guess I'm kind of tired of the media characterizing it like that. And I think that narrative is kind of spilled over, and even some conservatives have bought into this idea that that's what Trump's doing. And it's not at all.
In a war, there's got to be two sides, right? So let's just pick the raccoons against the squirrels, right? That's your two sides.
Yeah.
Well, here, okay, let's say Trump's the raccoons, and he's bringing in people. Who's he fighting against? The squirrels. Who are the squirrels? Criminals.
Yeah.
So if you're for the squirrels, because that's a war, right? You're the one that's wanting to call it a war.
Yeah.
And if it's the raccoons versus the squirrels, and the squirrels are the criminal, you're cheering and backing and buying merchandise and putting the squirrels on your fantasy football league. Like, what are you doing?
It's weird. It is weird, and this is such an easy political maneuver for Donald Trump, and they're taking the bait. They are Pritzker, what's his face in Chicago, like
Johnson.
They're all taking the bait and defending higher crime rates, people dying, people's businesses being destroyed because they hate Trump so much. And I think Trump instinctively knew this is exactly what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Now, with all of that being said, I do not think that he should go into a city without the support of the city leadership. I don't think he should do that unless he can use the actual, like if they attack a federal building or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he has all legal rights to defend
the
federal property.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I would hope that these mayors choose to work with him. If they don't, guess what? That benefits Republicans in the elections.
Yeah, it does. It does. Sadly, more people will die too, but you're right. There is a political advantage to it. 920-208-542-1079. Let's stay on track here. We'll take a break. If you'd like to reach us, the Stones Automotive Group call and text line 208-542-1079. Okay. Excuse me.
Okay, I pulled. Oh, you bet. Thanks, Rich. I hadn't updated the date yet. I asked Copilot. You know what I did, Rich? I updated the date, but I didn't do the right date. Because the date used to say September 5th, so I just put the 6th.
Oops.
I forgot there was a weekend in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I pulled some information on this Harvard study.
Yeah.
It's called the BMC Environmental Health, and involved researchers from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, Mount Sinai, and then other medical institutions. So this is a massive study. The researchers analyzed 46 previously done studies covering data from over 100,000 participants. They use the Navigation Guide Systematic Review. That's a rigorous framework for evaluating environmental health data to assess the quality and consistency of the evidence. Their conclusion? Some of the higher quality studies tended to show a stronger association between prenatal acetaminophen use and increased risk of autism and ADHD. The researchers did not call for a complete ban on acetaminophen during pregnancy. Instead, they advised judicious use, meaning the lowest effective dose for the shortest duration. So they didn't come out and say, absolutely, if you use it, you're at risk. They're saying, hey, let's not have it be an everyday thing. If you get a cold, you can use it for 3 days at the minimum dose and then be done.
Yeah. And that was shown to be safe for the baby.
Yes. Well, that's what they didn't have strong enough conclusion data to say, we got to say absolutely not. Yeah. But they had enough conclusion data to say, we need to be careful with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you think that's something a pregnant mama should know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we hide these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't either.
And it's perfectly fine to be honest about it and say there's not a complete call of no.
Well, yeah, right. Who makes Tylenol? Is it Johnson & Johnson?
I have no idea.
But, I mean, acetaminophen has been available as a generic forever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not loads and loads of money at stake here for any one company.
You wouldn't think so.
9:24 now on News Talk 1079. Neal Larson along with Julie Mason. The program brought to you by Grand Peaks, Prime Meats, patties, dogs, steaks, crock-pot meals. They've got it all, Julie.
It was cold this morning. Our grilling days are getting slimmer and slimmer.
Whatever you're about to say, stop.
Unless you're Neal Larson and you grill it January 4th in shorts.
I bet I'm not
2
alone.
2 feet of snow. I bet you're not alone.
Yeah.
But they've got all your grilling stuff at Grand Peaks Prime Meats. Everything you need.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we talk about grilling, but I'll tell you, you know how, and I think you do the same thing. What I think is the best way to make your steak bites without some extensive process, cube them up, dump them in the seasoned butter, just get them all,
garlic.
Yeah, get them all buttered up. Throw them in your air fryer for about 11, 12 minutes, and maybe even less than that. If you like them, medium or medium rare, just throw them in your air fryer. No grilling involved.
Yeah.
Great.
Super easy. Okay, gpprimemeats.com. They have a ton of specials going on right now. Several of them related around grilling. So if you're looking for stuff that's great to grill, check out the specials. But if you're just looking to fill your freezer, they have deals on that as well. And of course, all their pre-cooked meals, they call them their crock-pot meals. They're fantastic. We love those as well because they're so easy.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. If you want to try one, if you're like, okay, these guys have been talking about it forever, I tell you, do the fajitas.
Oh, yeah.
Do the fajitas. Get the pre-packaged fajitas, throw them in a pan, warm them up for 5 minutes. You have the easiest, yummiest meal.
Yeah.
In just a matter of minutes.
Do you put sour cream on your fajitas?
I don't do sour cream on any of my tacos or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
A little bit of cheese, too.
Lime.
Lime is good.
On those fajitas. Oh, my goodness.
I'm with you on the lime.
Yeah,
it's good.
so good.
All right, gpprimemeats.com. We do have someone that says, I grill year-round. See, I have a covered deck. So in the cold months, I put the barbecue grill on the deck. So even if it's snowing outside, I do pull it away from the house a little bit. But then
Smart move.
Yeah, but then I, pop it open. I grill.
Good deal.
I don't know if I grill every month, but I certainly grill 2 or 3 times every week. So
yeah.
All right, 208-542-1079 if you'd like to be on the program this morning. How long, Julie, did we talk about the Daniel Penny case? And very nationally. And how long did we talk about the George Floyd case? We have heard nothing. Except now, Trump talked about it this morning, and Fox has had this story on about this Ukrainian refugee that got brutally murdered on the train or the subway in Charlotte. And now it's a national issue. And it will be interesting to see what the national media does, because now there is attention on it.
Okay, so let's give some context to the listeners, because if it hasn't been talked about in lots of places, they might not know about it.
Yeah.
So, young, beautiful Ukrainian girl came here to escape the war. She was doing everything she was supposed to. She was employed at a pizzeria. She was getting on public transportation to go home. She comes in, sits down, immediately gets on her phone. She doesn't talk to anybody. She just enters the train and sits down. This is surveillance video from the train.
Mm-hmm.
So we know it's real. It's not, This is not manufactured. A guy is behind her. After she's been sitting there about 3 or 4 minutes, he pulls a knife and just starts stabbing her. Kills her.
Yeah.
Stabs her in the neck.
Blood everywhere.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Wanders the train for a little bit and then gets off.
He takes his shirt, like his hoodie off.
Yeah, because he's probably got blood on it, is why I'm guessing he took the hoodie off.
Yeah.
And then he exits the train, and then they find him. So this happened a few weeks ago. The video surveillance footage was leaked. And that's how the greater American public has learned about this.
Yeah.
It went wide on social media. The mainstream media did not cover it. As of yesterday at about 8 o'clock, it hadn't been covered by AP, hadn't been covered by MSNBC, hadn't been covered by CNN. None of the mainstream media organizations had even talked about it, even though that had been out for more than 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. So DeCarlos Brown is you don't really even have to say alleged. I mean, it's clearly there. Mm-hmm. The New York Post has a story. Newsweek has a story. When I do a news search for DeCarlos Brown, let me see here. Newsweek, WPFO, some local.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that New York Post is carrying it.
3 hours ago, CNN finally said video shows fatal stabbing of Ukrainian refugee on Charlotte Light Rail train. But everything else is like either local. Oh, there is one. The Hindustan Times.
Oh.
The Hindustan Times is carrying it.
So it's my go-to publication.
It's gone big now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, where are you, New York Times? NBC?
I don't know. And so very similar situations, right? Daniel Penny and this girl, public transportation, career criminal, which I hate that phrase, but career criminal, both the men were career criminals. And we had protests, marches, public outrage about Daniel Penny. Thousands of articles written about that man who was protecting others on the subway. And we had nothing going on. This murder is 3 weeks old, and nothing happened with it until after it was shared widely on social media for more than 24 hours. And then CNN decided to do something with it.
Can I make a prediction here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I'll ask the question. How long before DeCarlos Brown Jr., they've recast him as a victim of some kind?
Well, it started last night already. I sent you a post. They've put up a GoFundMe so that he can have a
legal defense?
A legal defense fund. Now, GoFundMe was supposed to not be doing this.
Right.
So they had committed themselves. It wasn't something legally that somebody else made them do. GoFundMe came out and said several months ago, we are not going to allow fundraisers for legal defense.
Because I think in the wake of January 6th, you had the defendants that were trying to raise money on GoFundMe, and they're like, no, we're not going to let you raise money. Violent criminal suspects can't raise money. Apparently, they've switched their policy then?
Yes. So, and people get around the policy. So I'll remind you about the case out of Texas where the young man went to the rival track team and stabbed the other young man. And his family made all of this money off of GoFundMe and like nearly $1 million, I believe, off of GoFundMe.
Wow.
And people were saying, hey, wait, GoFundMe, I thought you weren't supposed to be doing this for legal defense. And GoFundMe said, we left it up because they can use it because the parents can't work now because they've got to take care of this teenager. They've got to protect him.
Oh.
So they were saying that fundraiser was not for legal defense. It was for money for the parents to live day to day. Well, guess what they did with the money that they lived day to day? They had they bought a home, or I think they were leasing it, actually, if we get the facts correct.
Wow.
They also had a new car. So I don't know, whatever. Bad deal on GoFundMe's part that this was left up overnight, because clearly this isn't so this guy can live day to day.
Yeah. No.
He's in jail and he's on a no, but I mean, he's not getting out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We also have another angle to this that a lot of people had an issue with. I think you could slice and dice this one if you wanted, but the mayor of Charlotte came out and praised people who hadn't shared the video because this didn't need to be shown to the rest of the world. That bothered a lot of, that bothered a lot of people.
Okay.
I can, if we pause and don't have any emotion,
yeah,
I might be able to understand if she was saying it in defense of the family, that nobody should be seeing this woman slaughtered like this.
Right.
But if she is saying it because we don't need to bring light to these kind of things here in Charlotte, well, there's an issue.
Sure. I mean, Charlotte's a good-sized city. There are other murders. Is there a track record of this mayor saying that with the other? Would the mayor say this if it was white on black crime?
Yeah, I would have to do some deeper research there. I don't want to react immediately to her comments just because it's infuriating.
Well, okay, but to me, that is always a tone-deaf thing to say. We live in America. We have a free press. We have freedom of speech. It's not up to an elected mayor to say, well, this footage shouldn't be going out to the rest of the world. That's not her call.
It isn't her call.
And I'm like, I know that's her wish. That's her wishful thinking. But it is a complete disconnect to the system that we live in.
Yes. Also, like I said, this murder happened several weeks ago. I think it was about 3.5 weeks ago. There has been a city council meeting held since then. They're probably held bi-monthly. So there's been a city council meeting held, and it was on the agenda to be discussed, this murder, because they were going to talk about the safety of public transportation and everything. At the beginning of the city council meeting, apparently they did a little birthday celebration for one of the city council members. So you've got this very heavy subject material that they're about to cover with people in the audience that are probably friends of this murdered woman. And you're cutting a nothing but bundt cake and singing happy birthday with one of the city council members.
That's not bad. Do that in the back room after the meeting.
Bad look.
That is a bad look. That's a terrible look.
You didn't break any rules except for the rules of be a good person.
Yeah.
And if you're about to discuss this, don't do the birthday party first.
Yeah, it's like when there's a little break in the funeral. Hey, let's go play Uno back in the back of the, chapel here.
Yes.
That's weird.
Very weird.
Why are people dumb, Julie? I really think that we could probably make a living being a consultant. And it would be the Don't Be Stupid consulting agency.
You guys can celebrate your birthday. Doesn't mean you have to do it publicly.
No. And quite frankly, can I also say, nobody cares.
Yeah, I'm not sure people wanted that at the city council meeting, even if we weren't discussing a murder on public transportation.
Right? Yeah, I don't think that's a public. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I do wake up every morning thinking, I wonder who serves on city councils and school boards, what their birthdays are today. Do you think that when you wake up? All right, well, let's take a break. 9:37 on News Talk 107.9. It's a Monday edition of the Neal Larson Show. Back after this. Okay.
Okay, Stephanie, I don't think that RFK Jr. anywhere has said that the Tylenol is the one solid thing that is causing autism. In fact, he has a lot of concern about the aluminum in the vaccine schedule. So that's one of the things he would like to see removed. So I don't think we should label that on RFK Jr. that he's saying A plus B equals C.
He shared the research from Harvard.
Yeah, you know what he wants is autism rates down. So if in some kids this is causing it, he wants us to have the ability to go, hey, be careful with Tylenol. I don't think this is the only thing. It's not like he's placed all of his money on this bet.
Yeah. But it's a piece of the picture, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he's just trying to find all the reasons why autism has spiked.
Apparently, COVID is back in California. It's having an upswing.
Okay.
And now officials are urging residents to mask up again.
That's probably not going to happen for me.
Traveling? This is California Department of Public Health. The U.S. is experiencing a summer COVID-19 surge. Lower your chance of catching COVID-19 by masking in indoor public places like airports and planes. Wear a high-quality mask like an N95, KN95, or KF94 to stay protected. Learn more, and there's a link.
I thought I sent it to you. In the feed, did I send you that montage of Gavin Newsom and the way that he talks?
No.
Okay, I have it saved. I couldn't remember if I chose to send it or not. It's super funny.
Yeah.
He is like, I don't even know how to explain it, but he does these things like this.
Yeah.
All the time when he's talking. And just like Trump does this, Gavin Newsom has these weird things. It's pretty funny. I'll send it to you.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah. California's a wreck. And it's so sad because it's such a beautiful state.
It really is. You know, I grew up thinking, and maybe this was just naivety of youth, but thinking, you could live in about any state. You know, like some states are a little different than others, but all of them are livable. But the more I learn and the more things change, there are some states I absolutely would never live in now.
Yeah, I don't think I could in some states.
Like I look at the state of Washington. You cannot opt your child out of their transgender ideology teaching.
Yeah, can't do it. Couldn't do it. There's other states like I don't know if I could do Massachusetts. I don't know if the overwhelming blueness of that state could be endured.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't think I could do California.
You know why I could do California? Because I watched my daughter be able to hide from it.
Yeah.
There's areas where Orange County is a little like oasis. But you can't hide from the tax structure.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to have to live in a state that I have to hide from something. You know, but California's.
Wow, we are so laggy. I can't. It's stuck there. It finally went.
Gremlins everywhere today. Trump also said, so a couple of things. He started this task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias in the federal workforce and in the federal government.
Okay.
So I like that. He's put Pam Bondi in charge of it. Oh. 9:43, News Talk 1079, Neal Larson and Julie Mason. I'm getting a little twitchy, Julie. Story out this morning. The California Department of Health put this out. Are you traveling? The U.S. is experiencing a summer COVID-19 surge. Lower your chance of catching COVID-19 by masking in indoor public places like airports and planes. Wear a high-quality mask like an N95, KN95, or KF94 to stay protected. Learn more, and then it has a link. Like, yeah. Like, no.
We heard from one of our listeners that the Apple campus, so Apple products, they're asking everyone to mask up in California.
Now, when you use the word asking,
I have no idea if it's a
requirement,
if it's a requirement or just a suggestion. I don't know.
Because I remember my mom, when I was a little kid, asking me to do some things, but I knew what that meant.
Did you do them anyway?
Yeah. I was an obedient kid.
Were you?
Yeah.
What happened?
I'm still pretty obedient. Like I will say I'm much more, but I was very much a rule follower. Like when I was young, I didn't get into a ton of trouble at school. The only time I got into trouble was when I was making other students laugh, or when I was maybe talking a little bit too much. But like I didn't ever like go out and maliciously want to hurt someone, or like it wasn't malicious trouble that I got into. It was mischievous, little bit mischievous. And but no, I was pretty much a rule follower. So
I was absolutely a rule follower.
Yeah.
I only got kicked out of class one time in my whole high school life. It was church seminary.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything except laugh hysterically at what the two boys in front of me were doing. And it was really funny.
Yeah.
And the teacher had had enough and kicked 4 of us out. And all I did was laugh.
All you did was laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like if you don't even have to be driving the getaway car or perform the robbery. If you're a passenger.
I was aiding and abetting.
You're going to prison too. So that's how that works. My sister tells a funny story about one of my older brothers and how when he was being very naughty, he was a mischievous kid, and he was going to get a little spanking. Well, he just started running, and he kept running away from my mom, and Vicky was like, "I didn't even know you could do that."
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't even an option.
That's an option?
In her mind, that you could run away from your parents disciplining you. And I think a lot of kids are like that. They're like, okay, I'll do what my parents.
I think the other one little boys did is if they did get a spanking, they would bravely go, "Didn't hurt."
Yeah, that's true. Act like it. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, I think I did get a spanking once. I think I had one spanking growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get spanked?
No.
No?
No, but you were the last kid too.
That's true.
I had learned. I had watched. I knew.
You knew the boundaries because you didn't have to be the guinea pig.
I wasn't, and I was smarter than that.
Do you also find the parents of an older child are very different than the very same people being parents of a last 4th or 5th child?
You bet they are.
Yes, I have found that, and I chalk it up to we're just tired.
We're tired, and the first child, it was new. You didn't know what I didn't know what I was doing.
No, and you were obsessing over everything. Like if you didn't discipline them this way, then they're going to be in prison. You know, like you have these worries that if you don't do everything exactly right, then you've screwed it all up. And by the time you get to child 3 or 4 or 5, you're just like, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be. And you chill out. You know, you just kind of chill out over it.
It's been fun to watch in my own kids. When I went and visited my son in Oregon with his first child was probably between 2 and 3 months old. Mm-hmm. I had Asher propped up on the arm of the couch. Asher was fine.
Yeah.
I'm talking to him. Oh, my kid was like, "Mom, can you put him down off the arm of the..." I'm not going to drop your kid.
Right. Yeah.
The second kid, that kid's rolling all over the place. He's stuck under the dining room chair.
No, that's true. That first child, you treat them like they're a porcelain doll, you know. And what's funny, what you learn about kids is, I mean, even if they fall off the couch, they're rubber. Like they might
bounce,
yell for a minute, but then they're like, okay, I'm fine. I'm on to my next thing. So. Yeah, that is fun. Yeah. Also, your first children, if they drop their binky on the floor, like you put it in boiling water and
sanitize that.
You
thing.
absolutely sanitize it. And now you're like, you look at it, you're like, yeah, just brush it off, put it back in your mouth. Immunity. Yeah. I wonder what only children, what their experience is. I mean, they're the oldest child, but.
Yeah,
you wonder.
They're the oldest child. Plus, they never have to share.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And everything they get was always the newest thing. They never got a hand-me-down from an older sibling.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
Welcome to the Neal Larson Show, where the news cycle isn't that fun, and so we're talking about this.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, let's talk about that. Did you see that 2 people won the Powerball?
Oh, they did. Okay.
Those poor saps. They have to split that prize. Dang it!
Man.
So bad for them.
Let's start a GoFundMe for them because now they have to split the 1.3 billion.
Yeah. So they've got to split $1.7 million.
Billion.
Or $1.7 billion, sorry. How will they do it? It's actually $1.8 billion.
Okay. 2 winners to split historic. They each just get an equal-sized check.
How will they go on?
I thought you were literally asking logistically, how are they going to do this? And I'm like, I think they're just going to split it down the middle.
They're going to rock, paper, scissors it.
Okay, that was a co-host miscommunication there. It's easy to cut 2 checks. That's not going to be hard. All right, 9:50 on News Talk 107.9. Final break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up after this. If you'd like to reach us, 208-542-1079. Oh, that's funny. $417 million immediately for each, or they can take over $800 million over 30 years. So what would you do?
Well, if I was 20, I'd take the 30 years.
Okay, well.
But if I'm 52, almost 53, I'm taking the one-time payout.
I don't know if it makes sense. I'm going to make a claim here that I'm not 100% sure I can back up. But I don't think it ever makes sense to take the payout over time. Because if you took $417 million right now and you just put it in a very modest growth account, you're going to more than double it in that 30-year span.
But isn't it about half? Didn't you say 4 versus 8?
$417 million immediately for each, or they can take over $800 million over 30 years.
So it'd be doubled anyway.
Oh, but you would way more than double it, is what I'm saying. Just with modest interest rate growth.
Okay. I would have to do the math to see. Yeah. All I know
is the one thing that you would get is if you're not all that disciplined, if you take it over 30 years, you would know that you have 30 years of massive amounts of money coming in. Mm-hmm. You could destroy all of it if you weren't that disciplined. And
you also have to factor in the taxes on that money.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because you're paying different taxes.
Oh, that's true, too. Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You don't know what the tax
You don't know what the tax rate is going to be. If you're going to get you might get a friendly politician who eventually says you don't tax interest on gains in this account or whatever.
It's the rule of 72. So 7.2% annual growth would double your money in 10 years. So if you doubled it, quadrupled it, you could 8 times your money at a 7% growth rate.
Is anyone getting 7% in any of their stuff right now?
There might be some mutual funds that are 5 to 7%. But okay, let's ask this. Let's do 412 million, 30 years, 5%, because that's more achievable. Mm-hmm. You can usually average about 5%. So it's 1.05 to the 30th power.
I'm still taking it. I'm taking it all.
You're taking the money up front?
Mm-hmm.
I think it always makes sense to do that. That's my point.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody or anything.
Well, at 5%, you would more than 4 times your money.
You also are assuming you're never using any of it.
That's
with
true.
That.
Yeah.
We're figuring this all on things that are assumptions, and you're going to spend some of it. You're going to give some of it away. You're going to...
Yeah. 9:55 on News Talk 107.9. Neal Larson along with Julie Mason, and we have about 3.5 minutes left. If you'd like to reach us, 208-542-1079. Julie, we were talking about the Powerball, $1.8 billion. 2 people won it. They're going to have to split it. But we were looking at what the dollars were. Somebody texted in and said it's $412 million if they take it all now. And if they can get $800 million over 30 years, so if they take it in installments. So my math question was, doesn't it make sense in either case to take all your money up front and then just let that money grow?
So there's so many unknowns here. First off, you're going to spend money, so you're not it's hard to figure out the math. Second, what if you die of a heart attack?
Right, that's true.
You don't have the ability to create the generational wealth that you would have been able to create.
Is that true that if you die, your family will not get those installments?
That's what I want to know. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would doubt that it carries through, but maybe it does.
And maybe, okay, so what is 800 million divided by 30? Divided by 10, it's 80. Divide that by 3, and you're looking at about 20-something million per year. I could probably survive.
I'm sure you could survive on that, but that's not the glory of winning the money.
That's true. You're right.
The glory of winning the money is being able to help people.
Yeah.
And changing the lives of your family members.
Yeah.
And
I think this is how I would look at it. It depends on the person, because we hear these horror stories about people that win the lottery and it ruins their life. They blow through the money pretty quick. You don't think you could blow through that much. Apparently you can. If you buy enough homes and
give away enough
private jets, and you could mismanage yourself into poverty even with that much money if you're young enough. I think if you have a person who knows themselves well enough and they wouldn't trust themselves with 412 million all at once, maybe their best option, not on a mathematical basis, but on a human nature basis, maybe it would make sense for them to take the installment.
Yeah, I'm just not going to at 53.
Yeah, no, you're not going to.
Yeah,
but I'm
not
just
going
saying,
to.
a less disciplined person might look at it and go, I know myself. It might make sense to do it like this.
Yeah. Good on them.
Yeah.
I hope they do great things with it. I hope this is awesome for them.
I
hope it
so
doesn't
too.
ruin their lives.
Yeah. Me too. They probably have lots of new friends. We don't know who they are yet, though, right?
I only read about the kid or the person in Texas. I said kid, but I don't even know. It could be a 70-year-old person. I don't know. The winner in Texas has not identified themselves yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, everyone, have a wonderful Monday. And Clay and Buck, they are coming up next. Julie and I, we will be back tomorrow on a Tuesday on News Talk 107.9.